Are you a social media user? If so, do you remember how social media comes to form? In the beginning, social media was a small website that was created to help the user connect with other people. But now, it had upgraded itself into one of the biggest platforms in the world. It felt like we had a second life in the thing called social media. Now, do you all remember Friendster? As one of the pioneers in social media, it was a small platform with only the feature to find friends. But then, Facebook came along, which allows us to not just find friends, but also share photos, our thoughts, and even play games with friends. Beside the social media giant, other platforms started to show up. Twitter for sharing limited thoughts with friends, Ask.fm for asking questions to each other, even anonymously, Empath that allows others to know where you're at or where you've been. And after that comes Instagram, which allows people to share photos and videos, which are now rising into the biggest social media. Not only that, there are also social media platforms that allow us to talk with each other in private or even groups, bypassing the need for SMS messaging. These apps, including Line and WhatsApp, with the latter becoming the number one messaging platform in Indonesia. Now, the technological advancement of the internet, and with it, the social media, in the 21st century happened in an incredible pace. So fast, in fact, that it's hard for the average adult to catch up with all the new technology that seems to be invented every month. This understanding lag makes the older generation much more prone to be taken advantage by every new technology they're not aware of yet. People who are aware of the oversight that has characterized the older generation then use this weakness to their advantage. Utilizing the latent power of social media, they use the internet to wreak havoc. They make hoaxes, hate speech, even abuse, which are specifically designed to cater to the older generation so that these unsuspecting victims will share and spread it to everyone they know. These problems have plagued the social media ever since. Now, to those who are oblivious, the aforementioned problems may seem believable. I mean, it's written in the internet, and it have sources, so it must be true. Well, ladies and gentlemen, those are absolutely wrong. Not all things that have sources are true. But luckily, there's a generation of people who are more aware, who are much more knowledgeable about the virtual world. Enter the young adults and teenagers of today. Ladies and gentlemen, just a quick reminder, the younger generation of millennials and Gen Z basically grows alongside social media. They were introduced to it during their primary school days. Although looking back, weren't kids not supposed to be able to use it at their age? But they were, when all these new social media platforms popped up. So these generations, being curious as they were, tried out all these new platforms and dig up every feature, every update they could get their hands on. They raced with their peers to understand the news trend in the internet, something which the adults may have viewed as childish, in actuality give this generation a large boon. What is this boon, you might ask? Well, it's knowledge. The knowledge of the ins and outs of the internet and social media. The ability to understand every comfort and danger that the social media brings as it continues to be integrated to our daily life. As you see, the younger generation is the one who understands the virtual world more. So you can imagine just how pivotal the role of the younger generation is in the battle to eradicate the problems plaguing the internet, such as hoaxes, hate speech, and social media abuse. But then, what can they really do? Well, it all begins with a simple yet crucial step: closing the gap between generations. For the young people here, how many times have your parents or relatives came to you asking for your help regarding their phones and social medias? Well, for me, they actually came a lot. That's because they know we're much more knowledgeable than them. So it's become our role to help them and educate them on the issues of the internet. If they share your hoaxes, then tell them why it's wrong and what to do to spot hoaxes. If they unknowingly follow hate speech, then we must call them out and ask them to stop the hate speech. It may be hard, especially if the older generation feel they don't need to listen to the advice of their offsprings. But we must do it in order to protect them from becoming the prey to these despicable acts. Also, why stop here? We also need to educate those who are close to us, right? But how? Well, take it to the streets. Post educational content which aims to educate regarding the problems of the internet and social media. Since we'll become the leaders of tomorrow, we can also try getting into the system and change it from the inside, making social media much safer. All in all, we need to maximize our efforts in order to eradicate hoaxes, hate speeches, and social media abuse from the virtual world. I believe if I wanted to change and educate other people about this, then we could minimize and overcome the spreading of hoaxes, hate speeches, and social media abuses. Thank you.